So Mahavir, अभी तो above 70 years for all the senior citizens, for all economic classes, Ayushman Bharat has come, right?
Hmm.
So what is the point of private insurance?
Yeah,
Could you
yeah.
tell me which one is
Yeah,
better?
yeah. It's good to compare the two. And a lot of people actually have called me also to say, okay, should I renew my health insurance now because, I'm above 70, so I'm covered by the Modi ji's new Ayushman Bharat announcement, right? So first thing is that basically Ayushman Bharat is available only with cashless treatment.
ये तो अच्छी
Right.
चीज है.
हाँ, but you have to understand it a little more deeper is that जब भी cashless treatment ही मिलता है, when you get only cashless treatment, then there is a restriction of network of hospitals, right?
Okay.
So there is a network of hospitals, only there you can get treated, and only through cashless treatment, basically the government will pay to the hospital, right? But let's say you are going outside this network, right? Then there is no reimbursement facility that is there in a private insurance policy, right? कि basically आप जाके
अच्छा.
कहीं से भी treatment करा लो, and then that treatment will basically get covered under your health insurance by you giving the bills to the insurance company and the insurance company paying the claim, right?
Got it.
So you are restricted to specific hospitals in your city or your area where you can only get treated. Usually, if you see, typically the meaning, my experience is that usually people choose a doctor first, right? Because they have some symptom. So I go to a doctor first. Then that doctor sends me to a specialist maybe. And there are some tests that happen. Then that senior doctor typically could actually ask you to go for a surgery, right? And they may either suggest a surgeon or that person could himself be a surgeon. And that surgeons, whatever hospitals are there, wherever he is basically serving. There you will have to go and get treatment. अब वो जो hospitals है, if that is not covered under Ayushman Bharat, then you are not going to get your claim, right? So you have to understand that it is only good for people who typically would first check the Ayushman Bharat ka list, then go to a hospital in that Ayushman Bharat list and get treated. If that you do, but I don't see that happening with a lot of people. A lot of people first want to not compromise with the doctor, the hospital, and do that. So it is restrictive. Right.
Got it.
There is one more thing which is very important, and this is something hopefully it will get solved in the future. But today I keep hearing this from hospitals that जो भी आयुष्मान भारत के through treatments होती है, whatever treatments happen through Ayushman Bharat, there the hospitals don't get money on time. So there is the government is supposed to pay to the hospital, right? Like we said, it's cashless, but the hospitals don't get money on time, right? And it's also discounted, right? Hospitals don't treat Ayushman Bharat patients well, or put them on a waiting list or give them dates saying that आप 15 दिन बाद आओ, 20 दिन बाद आओ, right? So it's like typically your treatment can get either delayed or you may not get the right treatment when you are getting treated in the hospital, right?
Okay.
So because ये थोड़ा सस्ता treatment हो रहा है, तो that same hospital is basically getting a private customer, right, who's paying full amount and the money is coming मोटा माल डायरेक्टली अपने अकाउंट में जा रहा है हॉस्पिटल के, एंड योर दिस मनी इज कमिंग आफ्टर 5 months 6 months फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट एंड इट्स ऑल्सो डिस्काउंटेड. So hospitals don't treat patients well is what I keep hearing, and like I said, it should get improved over time. So these are 2-3 things, like your hospital list is restricted, and the second is that the treatment that you may get from the hospital, I am also seeing is a differentiated treatment. Typically healthcare is something which is very sensitive. आपको अपनी family का ध्यान रखना है. You want to ensure that they get the right treatment, right time, with the right doctor. So people don't want to compromise in choosing hospitals. They don't want to compromise in how they're going to get treated by the hospital. They want everything to be very smooth. And that's why Ayushman Bharat is a suboptimal kind of a solution for people who are looking at a no compromise solution.
Got
right.
it. But like my question, if it's a government scheme, so network will be big, right, in comparison to a private insurer?
No. So yeah, meaning that's a very valid question. Actually, probably that should have been the case, but it's not true. Like in Bombay, when I was looking at the list, right? I live in Bombay, so the list that I looked, I could actually recognize only 4 hospitals in Bombay. Yeah, which I could recall the names of. Right. The others are very localish kind of hospitals, which I don't see myself going to. And I even looked at reverse, right? Like I looked at the large hospitals that typically a person like me would go to.
Got it.
And none of them were there. Hardly, like out of 10 that I would have gone to, not even one was there in that list in Bombay.
Understood.
Right? So it's a very restrictive list. Probably the government is working on this and expanding the list, but aaj ki tarikh mein it's not like something that. So this happened with my father-in-law. My father-in-law also said that He's 75 plus. He's almost verging towards 80.
Okay.
He told me that my premium is very high now. Ayushman Bharat is there. So I told him that ये hospital cover नहीं है, 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 ये hospital. So he got his answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might be people as well would have got the answer. So Mahavir, you told ki you will I'll go to a doctor and then doctor will suggest ki acha you need a specialist. Then I will see ki where that particular specialist is serving, and then that hospital I'll see ki whether that hospital is in Ayushman Bharat list or not. Where I come from, like I to directly go to the hospital. And then their doctors are there and I get treated.
Correct.
Which I believe ki multiple people would be going to a hospital directly.
Yeah.
So for those people, I believe Ayushman Bharat will do a good job.
Yeah, but look at it, how a line of treatment starts, right? Meaning typically, I have seen this happening, that it starts with a symptom, right? In emergency cases, you may be right. But in emergency cases, again, the problem is that will you now look for Ayushman Bharat hospital at that time? You will not. In non-emergency cases, in those cases, there will be a symptom. And that symptom से तुम directly hospital में जाओगे, तो that's fine. Then at that time, you should be very clear that I will find an Ayushman Bharat hospital and then go there. So that's what I said. If you're very clear that you want to go that route, then it is fine. But if you're taking a route that मैं अभी मेरे को कमर में pain हो रहा है, तो I will go to the best back doctor, whoever, orthopedic, right? And then that doctor will direct everything. Then this problem will come, right? Is what I'm trying to say.
So basically, it's a trade-off between the price and the specialist, or
right?
Is it like? Can we say that?
Not necessarily. It's more about you being little you giving yourself a little inconvenience of basically restricting yourself to a particular set of hospitals and then getting treated. ऐसा नहीं कि खराब hospitals है आयुष्मान में. There are good hospitals, but I don't see that in my own behavior. I'm not the only customer set that is existing in the country, but I don't see that behavior. I usually, the people I interact with, I see the behavior that they first go to a specialist.
Got it.
And the specialist then guides through stuff.
Yeah. Understood. I got the answer.